have a lot of information yet on exactly how a lot of these tariffs are going to work. There's already been discussion about reciprocal tariffs, and now that location is the most important, is understanding how that's going to work is in Europe, where we have value-added tax of 20%. That's a big number in terms of a reciprocal tariff, and it would have a meaningful impact. In China, we look at tariffs last time, it had maybe on the order of a less than 1% impact to GDP in terms of what happened with tariffs in China. And I think looking at it right now, it's still a little bit too early to know how large the impact will be in China. The thing that's actually more important in the near term, I think that we're going to feel is with this much uncertainty, if you're an exporter, say in Germany, how are you going to be thinking about your business? Well, with this much uncertainty, you're not taking on large capital plans. You're not hiring a lot of people. It's actually this uncertainty that seems to have the impact more so on the economics rather than the direct impact of having to pay higher prices, et cetera. So I think in the near term, I think there's more downside risk to tariffs to regions outside the US, probably particularly in Europe. But that said, if you look at valuations, that's priced in. Valuations in Europe are much lower than what we see in the domestic market. It's similar to in the Asian regions and China, et cetera. So I think a lot of that has actually been priced in. There's still probably more movement that can happen as a result of tariffs. If you're thinking about it in terms of what exposure you want to have, really, it's a function of the fundamentals within that business. But if I were looking at the European region, for example, I would want probably less exposure to export-heavy businesses. Not so much because I don't think those businesses can withstand that, but I think that there is going to be a lot of uncertainty in the near term for those businesses, both in terms of what the fundamental impact will be on their earnings, but also in terms of their capital allocation.